Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and today is so exciting. Strap yourselves in, put your seatbelts on. Oh, take your heart medication if you need to. We're going to be going blow by blow through Copperfield, probably the worst map in the game, and because of that, I want to do this map. I want to help the humans out. That's what we're all about here at Bushka on Blitz. Now, it's also a patron-sponsored post. If you want to help one human out, that is the big human here with the Aussie accent. This is how we feed the kids and keep the lights on, is YouTube. So have a look at the sponsorship options there and do your very best. This is the Copperfield flank, and it is one of the most misunderstood areas of the universe. It's right up there with the female erogenous zones and the Loch Ness Monster. It's a bit of a myth. No one knows how it works, why it works, or where it can be found. There's lots of spots over here. Basically, if you are on this flank and you're shooting across the map, you want to be doing it from behind cover. There are various areas where you can go behind cover here and get shots across the map. What you also find is mostly people just tend to sit up in the middle of nowhere and get wrecked. Copperfield is very, very small. It's a low diameter map. Whatever. It's not big. And there's not a lot of spots where you can actually just sit back and bam on the heavy area. This is probably the only one that I think is of any note. Right at the back of the eastern spawn, there is an area where you can shoot right down the guts of the heavy section. A lot of people know about this one. A lot of people don't. And that's a real issue because the other side doesn't really have this, but the other side does have an area that is a lot easier to actually push around on. You've got good mixes of hard and soft cover over there. You've got some houses with brush up and such. There's this big section here on the far northern flank. If there's no mediums out here and you're light enough and quick enough to get up here and your team is predominantly heavy, wow, you can make some hay from this position here. Likewise, this area here is where the real action usually commences. If you've got lots of mediums fighting on the flank, they'll be fighting around this structure here and the bunch of pipes just behind it, but you can all put shots across. Now that seems to be the predominant aim here. You win this flank with the mediums, and then you get to snipe without getting seen on all the other humans across the way. Quick note, you can fire through these windows. They are, in fact, avenues of fire. You can hit people that are camping on the top, or not camping, just happen to be unlucky enough to be drawing a TD or a heavy on a map that's about 30 paces from side to side, and that can lead to a lot of consternation and abuse when you're like, where the hell did that come from? I was behind a building. No, in fact, you were through an open window. This is the side of the map I'm talking about with a lot better cover in terms of mix of hard and soft. All these houses here are grand as hard cover, but they've also got bushes on them. Now, that means that you can basically take shots and then retreat behind very, very good camouflage, which will allow you to actually pull out once you go back to resetting camo and get shots back across, which is really, really lovely. A lot of people don't use these, they don't utilize them, but anyone with an ounce of experience should be utilizing them. They get really good avenues of fire straight down that medium section, and for climbing the hill here into the heavy section, they are glorious. They allow you to take shot, pull back, reset camo behind a fully covered structure, and then come back out and shoot again. As you climb back up, you get to the heavy section, and the heavy section is good because there are plenty of spots here to side scrape and go hull down with. My big issue with this map, and there's a few of them, it's the size, and it's the fact that, look, so much of this map is decided upon by team composition, and it's one of those maps I think which a lot of people who have experience with the game don't like, because it forces you into very, very close encounters where people will often be able to just simply trade hit points with you, and that means that you can't take advantage of knowledge and skills and tank abilities and traits and characteristics. Because you can see all along here, there are these little hull down sections. Oh, whoops, you try and push up and there's someone down there. And it's basically, it's a bit of a disincentive to push here unless you either own the flank or you absolutely overwhelmingly outnumber the heavies and the TDs that are on the other side, and you can just take a shot or two, go through and steamroll them. Original Copperfield wasn't much better. It was pretty much the same. They didn't really change much. Oh, this is the bottom. Don't go down here. Just don't go here. We fight for hills, not holes. That's the old motto. If you go down here, everyone and their mother can just lean over the edge of the map and go bang and shoot you. And unless you own the flank and you've got them all cornered in a little pocket and you don't have any fear of getting hit, just don't go down there. The side scraping spots up the top, they're there, but the problem with them is, okay, so you're angling towards a bloke that's going to pop out there. That's brilliant. The only problem is, do you own the flank? Do you own that section down there where there is a windmill, which has likely got someone hiding behind it? Is there someone over there in a T-54 who's just going to have a field day putting shots into the side of you? So therefore, you can't be aggressive and you have to pull back. Same problem over here. I mean, you're angling towards someone ahead of you, or you're angling towards someone on your left, or you're angling towards someone on the other side of the map. Again, very, very small map. I mean, that's 300 meters to the other side. You can see that far with binoculars on a good day in a lot of tanks. So let's have a look at some live game action on the flank. I'm not really going to go too much on about the heavy stuff up the top because it's so self-explanatory. There's just positions where you go hull down and try and do your best. I mean, look at this. I'm pushing up in an FV4202 and I've got free reign. They've got an E50M here. I see they've only got one medium tank, but an IS-4 is actually going to pop. That gives me a fairly solid inkling that we need to basically own this flank. So I'm going to be very aggressive here. One of the big issues with Copperfield as a map is that people get stuck and then they just sit because there's no safe options. I've got two mediums here. I'm going to push up and try and clear this IS-4. This is actually a good spot down here. That brush, you can be very aggressive with it, but that's as close to the bottom of the map as I would go. I'm going to push up here, and I know there's an E50M there, but I'm more than willing to trade a few hit points, because if we can knock out this IS-4, we should have enough guns to then come up here, get rid of the E50M, and then own the flank and just march on to victory. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And you can see this area here where you've got the pipes and everything. I'm using the actual hills here and the pipes and all that kind of stuff to isolate where I'm taking damage from. So I can only be taking damage from one area at a time. Completely missed that one, and then I just let the other guys come around and we nut this E50M. Once you win this area, if the opposition hasn't pushed up, if they are still in their spawn area, you basically get free damage. It's just such a horror map. If you lose this flank, or you don't even contest this flank, you give the opposition free right of reply, and they will sit down here and they will absolutely smash you. Now, we played very aggressively there because I could see that I was playing the objective. I was playing the objective of getting the flank and absolutely rocking it. There's T30. I'm going to hit him at 290 meters. He can't see me. That's bloody great. The T30 is absolutely 100% screwed. Their whole team is 100% screwed. They are getting blind fired from this side. They can't do anything. The map is 330 meters away, and I'm deep on a flank. Very, very small map. So if you can't control this flank, you have to at least hold it. So be careful about pushing up too aggressively on the flank. Now I can see here straight away, they have no medium tanks. I'm in an IS-7, the vastly underpowered, super armoured heavy tank. Ouija's in the IS-4. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bust on down. I'm going to knock out 50 kilometers an hour in a tank with the best armor profile in the game and go to the flank and own it and put shots across and be super instrumental in winning the game. The flank is where the action is. A couple of caveats with that. If the other team isn't stupid, they will not pop out. They will not give you shots. And if you contest the flank, if you get the flank down here, quite often people will push down and contest it. And that's good. That's absolutely right. You just cannot give this flank up uncontested. It will give you nightmares. You will give up so much damage, and you will give up so much just free fire that's not returned. I'm going to cap it before I start firing at anyone. It's a supremacy game after all, and I am playing the objective, which is to win the game. And you can win the game by cap, so now the pressure's on them. We've got a cap each, and I get to just do whatever I want over here. You can see what I mean. That 183 is in the side-scoping position I was talking about before. He's angled to the people in front of him. He's angled to the guy slightly to his right. He's not angled to the person on his flank in a heavy tank because he wasn't expecting to get hit from out here by anyone, because they weren't expecting any mediums to come. It's one of those rare games where there just literally were no mediums involved. And he's now in an absolutely terrible position where he can't really push forward. Even if I move from here, he doesn't know that I've moved from here. So he's combat ineffective, he's trapped, and he's done nothing wrong but playing on a map where there is literally nowhere to hide if you want to side scrape in an offensive manner. You have to be really, really negative and defensive if you're playing up there and you're in a big tank. And we're finally moving down, and look at the side shots we're going to get here. And it's unfortunate for the red guys. They're not really doing anything wrong. They just had no one that contested over here, and it gives us free reign to move up. There is, and you'll note, I'm moving from covered position to covered position. I'm not getting spotted because I'm moving from covered position to covered position. Eventually, I will get hit because I get a little bit lazy. I'm now spotted. Should not go out at all. Should not go out at all. Lucky not to get ammo rack because there's a 183 there. I know there is, and I fully deserve to lose 1,000 hit points. And he fully deserves to die because he was in cover. He was reset his camo. He may not have realised that, and by firing, he opened up his camo again. Still come down to a 2-on-3 game, which I'm surprised at. I think, again, it just goes to show if you push the top, you die. If you push the top, you die. You open yourself up to all kinds of fire from both sides, and it leaves you in a situation where people can actually hit you. They have to be defensive, and when you push and you're aggressive, if you have 4 or 5 tanks in front of you, you're going to get hit up there. You're just going to get hit. There's no other way around it. And this grill is playing silly buggers. He's looking up the hill. He moved down here to get shots, which is all well and good because he just didn't have any. One of them going into the back of the spawn there would have been a good idea. 632 into the side of the grill because HE. And yeah, he's all over now. It doesn't matter what he's doing, he's going to be bye-bye. And we're cleaning up and we're moving up the flank there, and it's all over. And that's Copperfield. I hope you enjoyed that comprehensive look at Copperfield. Be sure to stick around, there's a lot going on. I've got a video up on channel at the moment of the T-54 Mod 1 that's now on sale. I highly recommend you go and buy that tank if you're looking for a premium tank to run. It is a super enjoyable tank. It missed the final cut of my most overpowered tanks by a bare smidgen. And that's because basically I supremely value mobility, and although its armor profile is ridiculous, it feels like a heavy to me to drive. It feels like a really mobile heavy. It doesn't feel like a really anyway, it's there. It's right in the grand final. I can't quibble with you if you think that's super overpowered. Same with the Type 62. That was the other one that everyone was debating. Those two are very easily interchangeable with the guys at the top of the trees as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't quibble with you if you wanted to call them really overpowered tanks. For me, they weren't, and that's all it was. One man's opinion. Just one little bit. I'm Bushka Blitz. Until next time. Oh, one other thing. Positive Waves, Bazza, Baron, JC Ware, Point Blank on Blitz. They're coming up with a competition committee. We're going to start sponsoring some comps. Well, they are. Or we all are. And wargaming and all that kind of thing. And I'm going to start running a lot more competitions on channel. So stick around. Make sure you tell your friends. Get some people to subscribe and watch the videos because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pike. We're going to keep doing these subs replays as a stream, not as a video all of its own. And I'm working on the technology to let you vote on them and then hopefully get a consensus from Wargaming where we can reward the winner each week with a bit of bling somehow, somewhere over the rainbow. I'm Bushka Blitz. Look after your family. Stay safe on the battlefield. And until next time, bye for now.